Hi everybody and welcome to David's Garage. Today I am going to be doing an unboxing of a new boot that I just got from Jim Green. These are the Workhorse mock toe boot in Bronco Brown. I just want you guys to know that Jim Green did send me these boots for review at no charge, but my opinions in this video are solely my own and I did not share this video with them prior to publication. Alrighty, here we go. So here they are. Again, these are the Jim Green Workhorse mock toe boot in Bronco Brown. So I believe Jim Green actually just released these boots this year in 2025. And the cool thing about them is that they're one of the few boots that are a true moccasin toe construction, which means that this bottom layer of leather actually wraps around your foot. And then this mock toe stitch is actually hand sewn. If you guys aren't familiar with Jim Green, they're a boot company located in South Africa, and they make a lot of really affordable, tough, rugged boots. I have their 719 boot, which was a collaboration with Jim Green and Karl Morawski, which is sort of like their one boot in an American service boot style. You know, from everything I've read about them on the internet, all the reviews I've seen on them, you know, having, you know, the 719 boots, their boots, they're actually, you know, on the lower end in terms of price. So they're really affordable, and their quality is, they're extremely durable boots. Now, I don't know if I would compare Jim Green boots to, like, say, Pacific Northwest boots, but obviously they're two very different price brackets. So let's talk about this leather. They don't give much information on this leather. This is called Bronco Brown. They've actually been releasing a lot of different colors of this Bronco leather. And one of the main characteristics of it is it sort of almost looks like a matte like finish, almost like a nubuck, sort of like a crazy horse leather. But on their website, Jim Green, they just state that this is a 2.2 millimeter oily pull-up full grain leather. And they do state that the boot is lined with 1.6 millimeter calf leather. So that means there's approximately 3.8 millimeters of leather if you include the lining leather. You know, just feeling this leather, it actually does feel, honestly, it does feel like on the stiffer side. Almost reminds me of the copper rough and tough leather from Red Wing in terms of temper. That's what it feels like. I would say it's definitely on the higher end in terms of stiffness on the temper scale. So my tool can't actually reach below this collar. But just for fun, let's measure this tongue leather, even though it's most likely not going to be the same thickness as the boot leather, but let's just see what it's at. Okay, so this tongue leather is 1.45 millimeters thick. If the boot leather is actually a little bit thicker than that at 2.2, I mean, that's a good thickness for a boot leather. I'm not a huge fan of lining on the quarters in my boots, but you could definitely see that when I'm feeling this leather, it feels like a nubuck leather. And honestly, I mean, this lining leather feels better quality than most lining leathers on other boots, because usually boot companies, they'll throw some cheap glove leather lining on there. Usually the leather's really cheap, low quality, and the color will bleed onto your socks. If I had to guess, I'd probably guess that this is probably better quality lining leather than most of those glove leather liners that most boot companies throw on their inside of the boots. Okay, so let's talk about the last. So Jim Green says that this boot is built on their MT last, which I'm assuming stands for mock toe last. They say that this last has a 3E wide fit and offers a roomy and traditional mock toe box. They say that they make this boot using the new mock toe last that combines the width of our JG last with the toe height of the STC last. And they say that their fit on this last is true to the Brannock device with a 3E width. So they recommend going true to size. That's what I ordered. I went true to size on my 719 boots and those fit me perfectly. So That's what I got in these as well, and that's what they recommended. So that's what Jim Green is known for. They are known for having roomy, wide last boots. So if you have a foot that's on the boxier side, on the rounder side, on the wider side, Jim Green is usually a very common recommendation online, just because, like I said, Jim Green is known for their roomy fits, for their roomy toe boxes and their roomy boots. So you can see, let's see, when we look on the bottom of this, you can see it's definitely got, looks like it's got like a wide waist and heel, and it sort of like bleeds over to the toe box. There really isn't much of a difference. You can see it just sort of morphs into the back of the boot, almost as a straight line. And then you can see the toe box does have, it's not super Munson style, but it is on the rounder side, in my opinion. Looks like there's plenty of volume on this boot. Like height-wise, definitely looks like if you have a wide instep or a tall instep, looks like this boot will fit that well. But I'll let you guys know when I try them on. Now let's talk about the construction. So if you go online, Jim Green has lots of cool videos where they actually show how they make this boot. It's not really a traditional, heritage constructed boot in terms of like how this upper part of the boot and this bottom part of the boot are two separate pieces, and then they put them together and then they stitch them or, connect them in whatever construction, whatever bootmaker uses. Jim Green, what they do is they actually sew all of this together. And like I said, this mock toe stitch, you see this is a separate piece of leather, and it wraps around this bottom piece. And so this stitch right here is sewn by hand, but like I said, this whole piece of leather right here is the same piece. It just wraps around your entire foot. And then the way they attach this top part to this bottom part, you can see there's not a welt, see? So there's no stitching here on the edges. The stitching is actually here on the inside. It's covered by this, you can see there's a rubber slip sole and this outsole. So it's actually Blake stitched. So there's a stitch that goes from the inside of the boot to this black slip sole. And then this outsole is just glued to the bottom of that black slip sole. So they don't have stitches going through all the way to the bottom through the outsole. It actually makes it super simple for cobblers to resole these boots. All they have to do is just peel off this outsole. It separates from this rubber slip sole. They just peel it off. They clean it up. They put some more glue on it, and then they just glue on the new outsole. I just think that it makes it super simple for cobblers to resole it. You could probably even resole them yourself at home. One could argue that because there's no stitching going from, the bottom leather to this outsole, that the outsole is not as securely attached to the boot. But I don't know, I think the glues nowadays that bootmakers use, that cobblers use, the glue does 99% of the work anyways. Most stitching is really just for show. In terms of like if it's actually holding on the outsole, I would say 95 to 90% of what's holding on your outsole is the glue. So, but that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I'm not saying that other constructions are bad or worse. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that I really like the way Jim Green does it because it makes it really simple for cobblers to resole their boots. Again, they say that this leather is 2.2 millimeters full grain leather. The lining leather is 1.6 millimeter calf leather. They say they do have heel stiffeners for added durability. So from my understanding, Jim Green, they use a thermoplastic heel stiffener. They do have a soft leather gusseted tongue. You can see it's fully gusseted. They do have a steel shank on the Workhorse boot. If you look at their other mock toe boot that they actually just released at the same time as the Workhorse, it's called the Meander. And the difference between that boot and this boot, because I saw them and I was like, oh, what's the difference? Is one, there's a different outsole. Two, there's an extra eyelet on the Workhorse. And then the Meander has a padded collar and also does not have a steel shank. So those are the main differences from my understanding. The Meander is supposed to be more of a, I don't know, comfort forward casual boot. The Workhorse is supposed to be more of a, work forward, more rugged boot. And then they also say that they have a leather midsole, a resin runner, which is that black slip sole I was talking about. They say they have heavy duty eyelets and speed hooks. The hardware that Jim Green does use is these speed hooks and these eyelets do feel extremely durable. The midsole is secured to the upper with a Blake stitch, yeah, and it can be resoled. They say that's on the MT last, and they call this outsole the TW, so the tire wedge. When I was looking at the Workhorse and the Meander, I really like this outsole. I definitely wanted to try this one over the outsole that was on the Meander. I didn't really care for a padded collar. I like that there's a steel shank on this one. Again, you can see this outsole. This is their tire wedge. You can see it's definitely got some decent sized lugs. Definitely feels on the softer side. This feels like the same rubber compound that was used on that 719 sole that I had. That sort of V-bar style outsole. Rubber definitely feels on the softer side. Definitely feels super grippy. Yeah, it feels super grippy, even smells like a tire. I'm assuming it's made out of recycled tires. You can see they have that black slip sole. So that black slip sole is just what this outsole is glued onto. And then that black slip sole and that leather midsole right there, you can see, is all stitched onto the bottom of this boot. And then they do have a steel shank right there for added stability. Also, another thing is that inside the boot, they have this removable insole. So it looks like it's just there, feels like a soft rubber and foam. So under this removable insole, you can see they have a leatherboard insole. So that's the leatherboard insole, and you can see actually the stitch. So you see that stitch, that Blake stitch. So that stitch is the Blake stitch that is holding on the midsole and this rubber slip sole. All right, so I emailed Jim Green and I asked him what the insole was made out of. So that lasting board, or that board that I can see that's Blake stitched on the inside of the boot on the bottom. So when I'm looking at it, it definitely doesn't look like your normal veg tan leather. It does look like leatherboard. And even when I feel it, it looks like leatherboard. But I emailed Jim Green. I asked him, I said, hey, is this leather? Is this veg tan leather? I asked him, is it composite leather? Is it leatherboard? And they responded, and they said that the insole, so the lasting board on the inside of the boot on the bottom, they said that is veg tan leather. So yeah, according to them, that's what they're saying it is. And then yeah, you can see this tongue it's fully gusseted. You can see it's got 4 eyelets, then 2 speed hooks, and then a 5th eyelet on the very, very top. So, if you wanted to tie up your laces on here, you can then just undo the speed hooks faster and then just take the boot off instead of having to unlace, undo the speed hooks, and then retie your boots every time. You could do that. And then yeah, there's also a pull tab here. Sorry, I forgot to do the measurements, but when I measure the boot from the very top to the very bottom of the outsole, it measures exactly 7 inches tall. And then when I measure from the very top of the boot just to the top of the midsole, just the uppers is 6 inches tall exactly. And then when I measure the height of the boot from the inside of the boot, this boot is 5 inches and a quarter tall. I think that, the overall build quality is really good. Materials overall are nice. And like I said, for the price, I mean, when you look at all the other mock toe boots that are on the market, they're either, heritage boots that you can work in. They're still really good quality heritage boots. They're more expensive usually, and they're not a true mock toe construction. Whereas this is a true mock toe construction, and these feel like really rugged, durable boots. Like you could actually do some serious work in these. Obviously, if you guys want me to bring an update, let me know. But that's what I plan to use these boots for work, and really beat them up and see how they hold up. Yeah, what are my impressions on the build quality and finishing? Well, I think I already talked about it. I mean, overall, these boots feel rock solid. These feel exactly what I would expect from Jim Green. You're getting extremely durable materials, a really well put together boot. I mean, the finishing isn't going to rival a Viberg, but that's not what you're buying. You know, you have to remember, Jim Green, they're a company in South Africa, so their boots, they're made to withstand going out into that rugged, you know, terrain in the bush, and just these boots have to hold up, because that's what people in South Africa are going to use them for. So I have no doubt about the durability about these boots, and if they're going to hold up. These feel, like I said, really good, well put together boots. My 719s, they feel like mini tanks. These feel very similar, so I'm not worried at all about the overall durability. I think that this is a really cool boot, especially for this being a true moccasin constructed boot. All right, let's try these bad boys on. So here they are. Yeah, so these are a 10.5. I am a 10.5D on the Brannock, and so Jim Green, they recommend going true to size in these boots. I also got a 10.5 in the 719 boots that I got from Jim Green. So these fit great. So again, I'm a 10D in my Red Wing Iron Rangers. I get a 10D in my Pacific Northwest boots. I'm a 10D in Truman boots. I'm a size 10 in Parkhurst. Definitely, I feel plenty of room in the toe box in terms of width, in terms of length, in terms of height. Volume, I have plenty of room. I can feel my instep is being gripped nicely. My heel is not really locked in. I can feel it's definitely a looser fit around my heel, but I can feel my foot is being grasped and locked in around the waist and my instep. My toe is right about there, so I got plenty of room in front of my toes. I got plenty of room in terms of width. In terms of arch support, there really isn't much arch support. It definitely feels like a flatter boot, but like I said, my waist and my instep, they are being hugged nicely. Overall comfort, I would say, is pretty good, honestly. These feel pretty comfy. In terms of like cushion under my feet, it doesn't feel super cushiony, but it's just really interesting, and I'll have to bring you guys an update if you want me to. Let me know down in the comments if you want me to bring an update. Do I have any overall concerns? No overall concerns. You know, I know that these have a Celastic heel counter, but I think all of Jim Green boots have a Celastic heel counter. But that's everything I have for you guys today. Thank you to Jim Green for sending me these boots for review. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate your time, and I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I will see you on the next video.